Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday, April 23rd, 2021. This is Morning Joey. I'm your host, Joey Molinaro. Hope your Friday's off to a great start. Hope your week has been good and quick, and we've gotten to the point, and it's Friday, and you're here for the weekend. I'm excited for you. Thanks for waking up with me, as always. Good morning to Mainframe Hacker, who's already in the chat. I appreciate that a lot. For those watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe below. Already messing up words. Subscribe below. And then on Twitter, appreciate you watching as always. Go back to youtube.com/c/cupofjoey. I got the links up on my Twitter as well. So go there and be sure to subscribe. Get your new Barstool Indie merch. I pubbed it the last 2 days. Indy 500 specialty. I think it's limited time, but they're flying. So get them now. Link to buys in the description below on YouTube, as well as Rough and Rowdy tonight going down. You got the Anus Boys. You got KB and Nick. They're going to be hosting. Frank the Tank on vocals. Friday night, nothing better than a fight night on a Friday night. Rough and Rowdy. You're going to laugh. You're going to be entertained. So the link to buy that is below in the description as well. BuyRNR.com. You can go and get your PPV, your pay-per-view for Rough and Rowdy tonight. There it is, BuyRNR.com. To get yourself ready to go for Friday. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be chilling. I got to get up early tomorrow, per usual. On Saturday, I like to get up early, go hunting for sports cards, things like that. So I'm going to be chilling. I'm going to be watching Rough and Rowdy, having a laugh with KB and Nick and Frank the Tank and everybody else. So be sure you do that as well. BuyRNR.com for tonight's Rough and Rowdy. And then, as always, subscribe on YouTube. Continue to support the channel so we can keep the show going every single morning. youtube.com/c/cupofjoey. Big show today. We got Glazing 5. We do it every Friday. First one out of the state. First one in Chicago. We go to Stan's Donuts. I've had some mixed reviews of people who had hit me up about it. Some people say you got to go to Stan's. Don't listen to people. Some people are saying, I don't know about Stan's, man. There's some other places you could go to. I got Glazing 5, so hear my thoughts on that coming up here in a little bit. I'm going to talk about some draft rumors. The Cubs are looking good. I got to break down this Montana football coach that everybody has been sending me. That is just, I can't believe that he's real. My reason for why I love lists so much. I mean, we got a full show this morning, and I was thinking about it, actually. Yeah, I was thinking about it late last night, and I got to type this down. I was thinking about it late last night when I was watching the Cubs, and I was like, oh, yeah, maybe that's why I like to do lists so much. That, and I got a Cowherd-esque baby name take, okay? So I'm going to get into that, but let's start. Like I said, Cubs look good. Cubs sweep, 9-9. Bats are waking up. Craig Kimbrell is unbelievable. I said last night, get your baby powder out. It's Chafin time. Andrew Chafin looking great out of the pen. Trevor Williams has been unbelievable at home. Had a rough start in Pittsburgh when he went on the road, but at home he has looked really, really good. So I don't think he got the win last night, but a solid outing from him. And they got it done. J-Hay comes in, pitch hit in the bottom of the 10th, and Cubs sweep the Mets. They're back at 500. So last week I had everybody down and out on me. Everybody talking about how miserable the Cubs are making me. Everybody talking about what's up with their offense. And then now here we are. We're 9-9. We're not even yesterday was 3 weeks. We're into the season. 3 weeks out of 162. And it's a long season. And like Dom says, I'm not leaving. So they got it done in a huge series this weekend, man. Brewers coming in, and the Brewers can pitch. Dude, they can absolutely just sling it. And so I'm really hoping that it's not 3 straight days of being one hit going into the 7th. I hope that the weather cooperates and that our guys make adjustments and that we have a really, really solid series and stay hot. 1-4 of 5. We swept the Mets. So Carl called it at the beginning of the week. He said the Cubs are going to rattle off a bunch of wins. And since that point, they're 3-0. Since I went to Chicago, they're undefeated. Since I've had that new jacket that's sick as hell that I wore yesterday, they're undefeated as well. So I'm going to bust that out later today and watch them play the Brewers, a little day baseball. Nothing better than when you get a big dramatic win like last night, late, my wife's asleep next to me. It's like 11:15. I'm up. I'm watching the whole thing, and then J-Hay comes through. You just give a little fist pump. Yes, don't wake up the wife. Don't wake up the cats. Don't wake up the dog. And then hey, I got to get to bed because tomorrow we got the Brewers coming to town, and it's day baseball on a Friday at Wrigley. Not much better than that. So the Cubs are back even, 9-9, and they have nowhere near played their best ball yet. So I feel good. I feel good about the Cubs. I'm excited where they're at right now, and I think we're going to be all right. Hey, morning, fam. Thanks, dude. Thanks, Jared. Yep. I promised you guys last week that I was going to have my shelves stacked with all my cool shit, and I failed on that. And my mother-in-law called me out, and that's fair because I promised you guys like last Thursday that I was going to have it all set to go, and I still only have my LSU helmets back there. So maybe, I'm not promising anything, but maybe by Monday I'll have some more of my Star Wars collection and some more goodies behind me to really round out this at-home studio that I got. I was joking about it with the Barstool Chicago guys when I was up there. They were like, what do you think? And yeah, hey, Joe, what do you think of our office? You like the office, Joe? And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's better than what I have, I mean, I love working from home, and I think I have a pretty sick apartment, but I don't have an office. This is my office. My office is a little nook over here on the side. So, yeah, they're going to get a new office and they have the recording studio. So I was like, no, it looks good. Don't be down on it, From Keith, we're Cubs fans. We're conditioned to deal with low points. Looking solid right now. Yeah, I mean, that's, like I said, I talked about yesterday or Wednesday. I said, look, I wasted too much of my life, my younger life, getting so upset about my teams that I would just like ruin my mood, ruin my days, ruin my, like my relationships were affected because I'd get so upset about my teams losing. And I'm just not doing that anymore. I'm enjoying that I can watch the Cubs every day. It's nice to have Boog and JD on. And, if they lose, yeah, it fucking sucks. You get a little pissed. But then you ride the highs of the win, man. And there's nothing better. There's really nothing better. Yeah, so like I said, buy rnr.com. Tonight's Rough and Rowdy. Can't wait. KB, Nick, Frank the Tank. It's going to be hilarious. And that's my Friday night plans. So it should be your Friday night plans as well. You can go there. Or if you're watching on YouTube, the link to buy is below as well. So go check that out. Got Glazing 5 coming up later today. Chat's already up and going, which I love. Good Friday to you guys all. Hope you're having a great start to the day. Got your cup of Joe. Man, I'm telling you, every time I check, more and more people are buying these. I keep seeing new names, and I appreciate it. The link to buy these are below as well, but it's a nice, solid mug, dude. Have it every morning. You wake up with me. You throw me on in the background while you're fucking walking your dog or playing with them or getting your work email set up, whatever you need to do, and you have yourself a cup of Joe. And it's that simple. From Andrew, even though I'm a Cards fan, Cubs Brewers is going to be a good-ass series. Yeah, I mean, you have that whole storyline too, Andrew. I totally forgot about that, Contreras, you had Tepera getting suspended and Rossi getting suspended because he threw at Woodruff. And then, you had Willie who did that giant bat flip and tossed the bat and shushed the crowd when he hit that home run to give the Cubs the lead. So that's what it's all about, dude. The rivals, that's what you want. You want a good-ass series. You want rivals to hate each other, and that's what the Cubs and Brewers do. I hate the Brewers. From Mainframe Hacker, are you a big Star Wars fan? Oh, huge Star Wars. Dude. I have the Millennium Falcon tattooed on me for life. It's the Millennium Falcon right there. Yeah, I love the Mandalorian. I got you know what? Come see on Monday. Come see on Monday because I don't have some more goodies back there. I'm holding myself to it. I'm holding myself accountable. But yeah, love Star Wars, love Mandalorian. Got it tattooed on me for life, man. Appreciate that, Jake. That's awesome, dude. Thanks for watching. Check out this new mug I got too. So I got the Cup of Joey one by me, but the Cubs sweat. Cubs are hot. I got this in Wrigleyville. Fucking love it. Fucking love it. Yeah, so Cubs sweep, look good. I hate the replay rule, man. Last night, Chris Bryant steals second, and there's 2 outs. And I think it was the 7th inning. But he steals second, clearly safe, beats it there, foot on the bag by like 0.4 seconds before he tags him. But replay is, of course, Major League Baseball. They try to institute replay to make the game better, to make the game more interesting, to get the calls right, to please the fans more. And then, of course, the MLB does that, and then they only find a way to fucking piss fans off more. Because Chris Bryant was safe, He was safe by a lot. Although he slid really late. I don't know why he slid so late. If he would have slid normally, he probably would have been fine. But he slid late. And while his left foot was in, and while he was sliding in, there was like that fraction of like half a second, if that, of like 0.1 seconds, if that, to where, his left foot was coming up and his back foot was meeting. And so they had that little tiny transition point where none of him was on the bag. And of course, now all the middle infielders, everybody on the field, they are trained and they know to just like almost push people and keep the tag on. That's how much they keep the tag on, almost push them off the bag. And that little split second, dude, not even a split second, less than a split second, they go to replay and the ump says, yep, you're off the bag and you held the tag and you're out. And like JD and Boog were talking about on Marquee last night, they're like, that's not what it was designed for. Like the replay rule in baseball was designed so when you have an out safe call at first base to where it's like, too close to tell for the blind or for the naked eye for the first base umpire, and then it's just bang bang, and the ball hits the glove just 0.3 seconds before his foot clearly goes down on the bat. That's what it was designed for, right? Plays at home, shit like that. Not when you're sliding to second base clearly safe and there's like 0.001 seconds to where there's nothing on the bag, even though you're over the bag and you were safe, you beat the throw and your foot was in there beforehand, and then he keeps the tag on you, and because of that, you're out. That's not what it was designed for, man. It's ridiculous. They got to figure out a way, but that's the thing is I don't know how. It's either you have replay and they can use it that way. You can't go into this gray territory of like, he was technically off the bag and you tagged him, but because he beat the throw, there's no in between now. Cat's out of the bag. You can't put the toothpaste back in the toothpaste bottle. So they either got to have some sort of, they have to have some sort of like the neighborhood play, like at second base when you're returning a double play and you don't technically, used to, you don't have to technically touch the bag, you just had to kind of be in the area, doing the fancy footwork from the second baseman, and they consider that an out. They have to have that, or they just need to get rid of it completely. Or get rid of being able to challenge those kinds of plays when it's a tag. Because now, and JD talked about it last night too, people don't want to steal, like baseball, they get replay because they're trying to make it to where you get more calls right to make the game better. But then also they're trying to get more action in baseball because people are bored. And now there's not going to be any action because nobody's going to want to steal any bases. Nobody's going to want to push for an extra bag, because it's like, well, if I push for an extra bag and it's a bang, bang play, the odds are completely against me to be considered safe, because even if I am clearly safe and the motherfucker holds the tag for a little bit longer all the way through my entire motion of sliding, they can go and challenge it. And for that 0.002 seconds that I'm off, then you're out, and you don't get your triple. You don't get the double when you busted it out of the box. So it's bullshit, man. Like, it got the Cubs out of the inning. It was I think Duffy was up and Bryant stole second base, and it was a 3-3 game, and there's a runner in scoring position now. A single brings home Chris Bryant, and instead of that, the Mets are going up to bat. It was ridiculous. Thanks, dude. Yeah, the people shout out Fountain Square Tattoo in Indy. Killer. Brian, killer job. I mean, unbelievable. Yeah, dude. Thanks, D-Doc. I like to consider myself that too. And I even, ingratiated myself into Clone Wars and Rebels. And because I was in like high school when that was out. So like, I was like concerned with other things and whatnot. So I wasn't like watching Clone Wars, but then I went back and I watched Clone Wars and Rebels. And so I've seen it all and I love it all. And it's a big part of my life. I love it. Thanks, Mike. I agree. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing too. He called him out in real time because there was a little bit like when KB was trying to pop up a little bit, the ump, you're right. The second base umpire literally did like one of these and then said out, as if like you popped up and he got you on the tag and you're out. called him out in real time because of that, when he was clearly safe. But now these umpires are even being conditioned to say, well, when it's a bang-bang play like that, or when it's somebody sliding into second base and there's a tag, it's almost damn near impossible for all your momentum and everything for you to stay on the bag the entire time, which is bullshit. From Keith, could see a rule change where if the runner is under control and safe, then he gets some leniency on the follow through, but that's just adding more gray area to the gray area. Exactly. I see what you're saying, and that's yes, like that. And common sense that would make sense, like when people are just thinking about it, you explain it like that, it makes sense. But then all of a sudden we get into a game, and then what point is the under control, and where does the leniency come in? There's not that hard line. It's tough. I've gotten terrible at not wanting to change the call on the field, even though the replay shows the call is incorrect. Yeah, it's like when the football broadcasters, well, you remember, they said it was a fumble on the field. It has to be indisputable evidence. They said it was a fumble on the field. That was the call. It needs indisputable evidence. Same thing with baseball now, man. I hate it. And I don't hate I'm not like one of those people that's just like a total baseball purist and traditionalist where I'm like, no replay at all, no changes to the game. Like I get that there need, that you need to experiment a little bit and have some changes. That's fine. That's not what I'm arguing against is the general idea of having replay in the game. What I'm arguing is the fact that those stupid ass fucking calls in those situations are ridiculous, and there needs to be a change for that. Keep replay, but like I said, either get rid of, like you can't challenge plays like that. When somebody's stealing a bag or when somebody's busting it out for a double or a triple, or like Keith said, you have to have some sort of leniency, but I just don't know when that gray area, where at what point with that leniency do you put your foot in this and draw a line in the sand and say, no, he's safe as compared to, oh, you can challenge that play. I don't know. That's for somebody like Theo Epstein to figure out, not me. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. So we're less than a week away from the NFL draft. We're now officially a week away from rounds 2 and 3 happening on Friday night of next week. Very, very pumped. And that's what I wanted to tell you guys about is, so for my Steelers fans out there, on Thursday night in the first round, Barstool, we have a draft show, a draft stream that we do that is, you have Stephen Shea and Roan and Brandon Walker who host, and then like I'll be on for the Steelers pick, and you have different Barstool personalities that go on, and we're covering the draft throughout the first round, and it's great. So you're going to want to watch that. But then for the second and third round, I am going to be doing a live stream on Friday night with some Steelers guests talking about the Steelers pick, strictly with just a Steelers-centric focus on what happened in the first round and then what's going to happen in rounds 2 and 3, who we're going to take there, what we're going to get, and then the outlook heading into Saturday. So next Friday, a week from tonight, I'll be going live on this channel for my Steelers fans out there. We'll just be talking black and gold. We'll be recapping the first round. Hopefully we get somebody that we can be really, really excited about. I think we will. And then we can preview more, hopefully O-line depth in rounds 2 and 3. I'm going to have my reach out to some of my Steelers folks and get them on here. So it's going to be really fun. I don't have a title or anything for it yet, but I will be live for rounds 2 and 3 a week from tonight, talking Steelers, talking NFL draft. So be there for that, because I'm super pumped about it. It's one of my favorite weekends of the year. But we could be talking about, it's seeming like we're going to be talking about Najee Harris being the first pick for the Steelers in round 1 at pick 24. Tony Pauline has come out and has been quoted as saying that the number 1 player that the Steelers are after is Najee Harris. He did mention Landon Dickerson from Alabama, Tevin Jenkins from Oklahoma State, which I'd be cool with as well. But he says they're pretty locked on Najee Harris, and they want him. They think that he's going to fall to them at 24 in the first round. They were at his pro day. They've met with him via Zoom. They had the whole farm meeting with him over Zoom. And if that's the case at 24, I would be perfectly fine with that. I said at the same time, I'd be perfectly fine with if the Steelers went with an offensive lineman in the first round. I think either one is a winner, but I tend to, I'm falling into the hype, and I'll admit I'm falling into how cool it would be to draft Najee Harris, because I really think that everything that I've seen, the people I've talked to, like Daniel Jeremiah and Matt Miller, it's a pretty deep draft class when it comes to offensive guards, offensive tackles, even centers. So I feel confident that if you draft a stud 3-down back, a game changer like Najee Harris in the first round, I feel really comfortable and confident that you'll be able to go rounds 2 through 4, maybe even 2 through 5. And just like last year, the Steelers picked up Kevin Dotson in the 4th round. He was the best rookie run blocker from last year's draft in the NFL last year. 4th round pick. He was a stud. So that's kind of the ideal way I'm wanting it to go, is like what Pauline's saying. If this is true, and I believe it to be, because the Steelers, they show pretty often. If you follow them, they show pretty often. Their hand. They love guys from Power 5, typically underclassmen. I don't think Najee Harris has a bloodline in the NFL. But then when a guy that they like, Tomlin, Colbert, are at their pro days, are meeting with Zoom, like you can narrow it down. And so it makes sense for them to get Najee Harris. It really does. Maybe I should switch my bet to, if they select Najee Harris, I'll get my haircut. It seems a lot more realistic. But at the same time, I think that's kind of, low risk, low reward, whereas Justin Fields is high risk, high reward. So that's the reports. The Steelers are locked on Najee Harris. Next week, a week from tonight, I'm going to be going live on this channel, and we're going to be recapping perhaps Najee Harris now in the black and gold from round 1, and previewing and reacting to the Steelers drafting in rounds 2 and 3. So be sure to be there for that, because I'm super pumped about it. Let's see what we got. Charles Egger. Yeah. I mean, replay, there's not, like, I feel like NFL's they, even with the catch rule and everything, but like, that's just the league it makes the most sense in, the league it works the best in. Yeah, Mike. I mean, there's a lot of things that, with all these quarterbacks, that you could have either 5 quarterbacks go in the first 7 picks, or you could have 2 quarterbacks drop, randomly, and you got that intrigue there. I mean, the draft just gets better and better every time. So, Jared, who's your favorite all-time Steeler, and why is it Ryan Clark? I do love Ryan Clark. Met Ryan Clark when he was in Indy in 2020 for the Combine. I was at this cigar bar called Burn, and I was there with a couple of buddies, and I looked to my right, and Ryan Clark's there with a few other NFL people. And I was like, oh, shit, that's Ryan Clark. And so he kind of broke away from his group for a little bit. And so I took the opportunity, of course, and I went up to him. And I was just like, oh, Ryan, hey, man, big fan, huge Steelers fan, dude. Like, you're a legend. Love you. And he was really cool. He shook up with me and was just like, oh, and he recognized me from Twitter. He was like, it's like me and Andrew Luck in person. And we shook up and had a good laugh about it. But, yeah, now we follow each other on Twitter. Ryan Clark, a legendary Steeler, LSU Tiger as well, a free agent signing as well that worked out. I feel like he's like what we all kind of wanted Mike Mitchell to be when we got him back in 2014, I believe. Yeah, 2014. But, yeah, no, I love Ryan Clark. But my favorite all-time Steeler is another safety, actually, and that's Troy Polamalu, easily. Yeah, no, I know. That's why I'm saying Najee Harris, and that's why I want. I think it's got to be either what needs to happen is you need to get your Mauler future left tackle for the next 10 to 12 years in the first round, and then get a guy like Javonte Williams or Chuba Hubbard later on or something like that. You either go 2 ways, the Steelers. You draft the Mauler early, your franchise cornerstone guy there, and then you select a running back later and build the O-line first and then get the running back, or you get Najee Harris and then you spend rounds 2 through 4 selecting nothing but offensive linemen, the best value to provide the most depth and guys who can come in and be starters. Those are the 2 approaches, in my opinion. From Jake, will you be watching a draft broadcast where they talk about every Picks family member that passed away? Yeah, I'm hoping that since this year we're getting back to a little bit more normal, where they have the draft in person and it's in Cleveland, and we're not in the heat of the pandemic, that it'll be a little bit more of a happier event than it was last year. Last year was very emotional, height of the pandemic, all virtual. A lot of death and family talk. So hoping that since it's in Cleveland, in person, that we get a little bit more of a happier draft. Yeah. From Charles, something tells me the Steelers will get Greg Newsome or a defensive guy. Could take off Big Ben like A-Rod was ticked when the Packers drafted Jordan Love. That's another thing too. I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers get like a Zaven Collins if he's there. I wouldn't be surprised if they draft, if Caleb Farley falls because of his health issues. Or a JC Horn or somebody, any corner that falls. I mean, corner is a need as well. I mean, if we're being honest, when you look at an NFL team and building them, you obviously quarterback is on its own, but offensive, defensive line, and corner, really. I mean, like, you got to be able to get after the quarterback and stop, make the life of the quarterback difficult with the defensive backs. Linebacker could be thrown in there as well. Or offensively, everything flows to the offensive line. So, even though they do need a running back, it is more of a luxury position than offensive line or corner or defensive line. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens for sure. It's just the reports that are coming out is saying that the Steelers are locked on Najee Harris. They want him in round 1. They want him at 24. And so if they go with it, then, you got to trust it. From Jack, over under. Oh, now this is good. I don't know for sure yet, but I would assume maybe this might be a prop bet for the Barstool Sportsbook app. Over under 5.5 quarterbacks picked in the first round. All right, so we know that Lawrence, Wilson, Mac Jones, Justin Fields, Trey Lance are going to go. That's not the issue. But the 0.5 obviously comes in here because it's going to be somebody like a Kellen Mond going to go. Somebody like a Davis Mills from Stanford going to sneak in the late rounds. Somebody like Kyle Trask, somebody will like him a lot, and they're going to jump up and snag him. I'm going to say under. Jack, I'm going to say it's going to be the 5. I think it's going to be, like I said, Lawrence, Wilson, Jones, Lance, and Fields. And I don't see somebody going up and getting a Mills or a Trask or a Mont. That's just my gut feeling. I don't know. From Mike, Bears will reach for Trask or Mont probably. Sure. Yeah. I mean, maybe even the Steelers do. I don't know. Maybe the Steelers do, or the Saints. The Saints are in a weird quarterback spot right now. They got Taysom Hill. They got Jameis, but are they satisfied with those guys? They want to try to get up and get one of their guys. They want to try to bring in a Kellen Mond and put him with Sean Payton, and maybe you get some magic happening there. I don't know. I'm going to go under 5.5, though. I think you're going to have your main 5, and then you'll start to see those guys, trickle off the board rounds 2 through 4. From Charles, will the Colts trade back with the Steelers, even though they are rivals? Ballard loves accumulation of picks, and Steelers may have their guy at 21. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call them rivals, Charles, but I don't know. Again, like, unless it's just like somehow Justin Fields falls to 21 or Trey Lance or something like that, or 20, and the Steelers are right there, and they know that whoever's there isn't going to pick them. I wouldn't see the Steelers trading up only 3 spots. If they're going to trade up, they're going to trade up like they did in 2019 to get Devin Bush. They're going to trade all the way up to like 10 or 12 or whatever. I don't see them jumping 3 spots like that. Thoughts on the Colts first pick? Yeah, 21. I mean, knowing Chris Ballard and how he drafts and the way that he's proven that he likes to build teams, I say that if it's anything but a offensive tackle or an edge rusher, I would be surprised. Maybe a corner, but I really think it's going to be – he's either going to trade back, because he likes to do that, like Charles was just talking about. He likes to accumulate picks. He's either going to trade back and get more picks, or he's going to draft an offensive tackle to replace Costanzo or the best available edge rusher. That's what I think. I love this draft talk, man. We got a week of draft talk coming up. And like I said, next Friday, I'm going to be live. We're going to have a Steelers-centric, Steelers-based show on this channel covering round one results from the Steelers, and then round 2 and 3, the picks for the Steelers as well. So for those Steelers folks out there, or just those NFL folks who are a follower or a fan of mine, you want to join, it'd be a fun Friday night. But tonight, Friday night, I got plans for you. Buy rnr.com, Rough and Rowdy tonight, Friday night in, Friday night fights, nothing better. Full slate of action. You got KB, you got Nick, you got Frank the Tank, so you know it's going to be hilarious. But buy rnr.com. Tonight's Rough and Rowdy. So let's get into it. I was up in Chicago this week. It was a great time being with those guys, the Chicago guys. And I went to Stan's Donuts. I had a few people recommended to me. I know it's like a popular chain up there, so I want to see what it's all about. First, Glazing 5 outside of Indiana, and let's hop into it. Stan's Donuts. All right, we do it every Friday. It's the Glazing 5 up in Chicago off of Rush Street. Stan's Donuts and Coffee. Now, apparently, I don't know, this is my first time doing a Glazing 5 in Chicago, but apparently Stan's is kind of, a popular spot, kind of a chain spot where a lot of people go to. So I was like, all right, if a lot of people go in there, I might as well try Stan's Donuts and Coffee. Really, really cool inside. The inside has a bunch of pink, like, couches and chairs, and it's kind of trying to be trendy, a little bit more modern. It's not trying to be your, like, neighborhood hole-in-the-wall kind of donut shop. But cool packaging. You know how I am about the packaging. I like it. It's got the pinstripes. It's nice. It's got the little guy up here. He's like, hey, I have a donut. I don't know why I made him Italian, but he is. That's Stan, so maybe he's just like, hey, have a donut. But again, that's New York. We're in Chicago, so what's Chicago accent? It's like, have a donut. Hey, have a donut. Joey, have a donut. I'm Stan, and we're gonna have donuts. Kind of something like that. So, and their donuts are a little bit different. They didn't just have like what they call blueberry cake. They called it old-fashioned blueberry. So this is what it looks like. And as it falls all over my wife's car, and she's sitting right behind the camera, so she's pissed. But here is the old-fashioned blueberry, and we're going to start out with that. The Glazing 5, first time in Chicago, first time out of Indiana. Here we go. This one is really crunchy. Super crunch, but a lot of flavor. This is right on par with Long's, the blueberry cake, what they call blueberry old fashioned. It is not as good as Mary Lou, where we were last week in Lafayette, but it is still very, very tasty. On the inside, you can't really, it's not screaming blueberry, but from the outside, most of you look at it, you're like, that's a damn blueberry cake. Right? It was expensive. I know we're in Chicago, but like, you used to go into donut places and you get half a dozen in a chocolate milk, and they're like, all right, that'll be $6.50. And you're like, perfect, cool. 6 donuts or chocolate milk here, $22. I don't know, Stan. I don't know about that one, Stan. Let's see. Got one for my lady. This is yours. I apologize that it's so messy. I don't know why, but it's got cream. There you go. Didn't have to film the cold this week, so good on you. How about the maple long john? Now the maple looks a little burnt. Looks to be a little burnt. But I had a little bit of the maple icing that I licked off my thumb, and it was pretty damn good. So let's give it a shot. Not their best batch. Not the best batch I've had. A little too crunchy. The presentation's kind of sloppy. This maple is like, if you got a bunch of buddies over, you know, and your dad brings back donuts and he gets like, you know, 2 or 3 boxes of them, you know, they're just kind of slapping them together, you know, and you're just happy with whatever you get. So the maple icing is very tasty. It's a little runny on the side, a little melty and runny, so I don't like that, but it is good. But the donut itself, a little too crunchy, not fresh enough. How's yours? It's okay. Rice scissors is just okay too. This is an actual cake. So I had the blueberry cake that was just called old fashioned. That was good. But this is literally titled cake, chocolate covered cake. So. Something that you could get like an assorted box at like a Kroger. All right, so Stan's off Rush Street in downtown Chicago, and you know, I have to say, for this week's Glazing 5, Stands in Chicago, it reminds me a lot of the Cowboys. Presentation, the inside atmosphere, the logo, all makes you want to think that it's going to be something big, something special, but then the product that you get, just like the Cowboys product in the field, doesn't live up to the hype, doesn't live up to the product, doesn't live up to the logo. So, now, if you're coming and you just need some donuts, you need a quick hit, that's fine. But I want to go out of my way to hit a Stan's Donuts in Chicago. Yeah, so I had a lot of mixed reviews. People were hitting me up, and actually, I didn't want to say it until after it, but most of them were kind of negative reviews. And I was like, well, it was close to the hotel. It was the most popular one that I could find, and so I was like, let's try it out. And it was the first place. It was the first place that I didn't really care for. I mean, out of all the places, Boyden's, Long's, Tim's, Mary Lou, even Jackson, India, you know, all those places I like and I liked a lot, but Stan's in Chicago was not impressed. I did not like it. I did not care for it too much. It was just run of the mill. It just, again, it was like the Cowboys, you know, like I said. Seriously, Eva, it was the Kroger assortment. I was like, I could go in and get better donuts at Kroger from like just the random, you know, bakery in there than what this presentation showed me with Stan's. So, yeah, it was. You know, I don't want to shit on places, but I didn't care for it too much. And like I said, if it's like a block away, if it's like at the bottom floor of your hotel in Chicago, or it's like across the street, and you're just like, I just go for a hot cup of Joe, and like, you know, I will say their blueberry old fashioned was very good. I did enjoy that a lot, but the other ones didn't care for them. Like I said, Kroger assortment, not that great. So unless that's the case, it's like at the bottom floor of your hotel room, or you're going across the street, I would not go to Stan's Donuts in Chicago. Sorry. Ben, the cats' names, I have 3 of them. Cats' names are Ruby, Remy, and Rocco. Ruby is our oldest. She's our firstborn. She is a girl, black cat. Remy is the second one. He's the orange loaf of bread. And Rocco is our tiny little nugget. He's a tiny little guy that we got last. So that's them. And then I got Happy Boy, and he's down here by my feet. Hi, Bubba. Hey, Happy Boy. Man, I miss my dog so much. Yeah, but kind of sticking that was this week's Glazing 5. Sticking with that, I realized that when I was watching the Cubs last night, I was just thinking about like Nico Horner was at bat. I was like, Nico Horner, that is such a baseball player name. Nico Horner. Like, Nico Horner is not going to be your accountant, you know? So this is like the quarterback face take, but like I really think that you naming your kid, what you name them has an impact on what kind of person they are and what they turn out to be. You know, like very rarely are there like the pro athletes that's like Brad Smith, you know? Nico Horner, Anthony Rizzo, you know, even like Jake Arrieta. Like, Jake Arrieta is not going to be fucking teaching math class. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Nothing wrong with accounting, nothing wrong with math teachers. But I'm just saying, like, if you name your kids something cool, in my opinion, they're more likely to have like a cooler job, you know? Nico Horner. Yeah, you know, you're not going to him for a home loan. He's going to be playing baseball. That's all right, Mark. I got friends my mom's an accountant, for God's sake. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It's like Seinfeld. My mom's an accountant. Not that there's anything wrong with that. All I'm saying, though, is just that, like, I mean, and no offense, Mark, but it's like, Mark, that's on par. That's good, you know? Look at this. This is funny. I have a quarterback last name with Waterboy athleticism. You do have a cool ass name. Keith Jett. Yeah. See, but it's like your name is like what like a sitcom or like a drama show on like NBC's quarterback name would be. Local star Keith Jett. That's a cool name, though. Yeah. What's the best Star Wars video game? Yeah, I have to agree with Jake here. Battlefront 2. Dude, I used to play Battlefront 2 all day long and then twice as long at night. I mean, I ran that thing into the ground. Like, people say, oh, you're going to have arthritis because you're on your phone so much. No, I'm going to have arthritis in my hands because I played Battlefront 2 until my hands cramped. That game is the best game ever. Like, I want to get a PS2 again, and I want to get Battlefront 2, and that's it. I don't need any other game. Give me a PS2 with Battlefront 2 and Nintendo 64 with Mario Kart and Super Smash Brothers, and I'll be happy for the rest of the time. Would never get tired of playing those games. Maybe add in like a little Madden 04 or NCAA 06. That's my dream video game combination. That's my dream video game combination. Seriously. Battlefront 2. All right. See, now I keep thinking of more and more. But if I had like 5 that I was going to play forever, and this goes in perfectly for my list obsession that I'm going to explain here in a second. I have 5. I'm going with Battlefront 2, NBA Street Volume 2, NCAA 06, Super Smash Brothers, and Mario Kart. Bam. 5. Nothing better. Nothing. You don't need anything else. You got sports. You got action war with Star Wars. You got racing. You got cartoons. Like, you got it all right there. Bang. Those are the 5 you need. That's it. It's done. That's it. NBA Street, Volume 2, Battlefront 2, NCAA 06, Mario Kart, and Super Smash Brothers. Best video game list of all time. Best of all time. Yeah, Nick, but that's tough. If we're doing 10, Slugfest with A-Rod on the front, that was a hell of a game too. I loved that game. Played that one for a long time. With A-Rod and the fire and the, like you get pissed, you charge the mound, you beat the shit out of people, you get to first and you just punch people and like kick them for no reason, trying to make baseball cool, which I love baseball, but like they're trying to make it, a lot of people say NFL Street. NFL Street's fun, but it's not. It's just if I want to play football, I'm just going to play like a regular football game. I don't need all that shit going on. SSX Tricky was a lot of fun. There was a really good run of Star Wars video games, man, that I played a lot. Battlefront 2, Revenge of the Sith, like the movie video game, Bounty Hunter, where you're going around as Jango Fett. That game was sick. And then even I have some on Nintendo 64 right now, like Rogue Squadron and like Shadows of the Empire. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm tweeting that out, man. Thanks, Collections. Power move. Thank you. NBA Street Volume 2, man. When this fucking... Here you go. And ad, of course. So sorry, but NBA Street Volume 2, man. When this would come on... It's like the loading screen, You're so excited. Yep. Now we're cooking. Now we're playing some NBA Street. Reminisce over you, man. Pete Rock and CL Smooth.
I reminisce for a spell, or shall I say think back 22 years ago to keep it on track.
Yeah, baby. This is a Friday move right here. Here, buddy, you're picking, should I be like the 03 Pacers or should I be, dude, Dr. J? MJ with the Chicago script and the Jordan 1s on? Just this when it comes in. I don't even know what that is. A saxophone? A trumpet? What is that? Yeah, dude. Ooh, Tony Hawk. That's pretty good. You said Goldfinger, James Bond 007. That one was a fun one on PlayStation 2. Sax, that's a sax. Cool. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Will. Yeah, saxophone. Dude, killing it on the saxophone. But my list again. I'll put them in particular order on Twitter, but just off the top. NBA Street Volume 2, NCAA 06, Battlefront 2, Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers, best video game list of all time. Don't care what you say. But I've been doing these lists on Twitter, and it's funny because there's an interview that I did with PFT commenter last year, and it was a really good interview, and we talked for a long time, but we were just bullshitting about stuff, and you can find it on the channel, youtube.com/c/cupofjoey. If you're not subscribed already, subscribe, please. But in the interview, we were talking about how PFT was saying guys love lists. He was like, Cowherd said one time, just like guys love lists. They do. And then he went home and he said that he was just doing lists with his roommates and they did it for 3 hours. And so there's just something about making lists, the debates, the engagement, the nostalgia that comes out of them that you just love. And I figured it out last night that it came from SportsCenter Top 10 as a kid. How excited and how I would be late to school some days because I would not stop watching Sports Center Top 10, eating my Frosted Flakes on the ground, even though we needed to leave, because I would needed to wait until I saw the top 10 from the night before. Like, I'd be getting everything together, I'd be like stuffing shit away, and I'd be like looking at the clock, and they'd always come on at like 6:57. 6:56, 6:57, that area would be a top 10. I'd be putting shit in my bag, and I'd be like putting my bowl away or whatever from the cereal, and I would be checking the time and making sure I haven't missed it yet. And my sister would be running around and everything, like causing a ruckus with my parents. And my mom would be pissed, and my dad would be like, "Come on, warm the car up." And then I have my book bag on, and like sometimes, a lot of times, I would just stand and I would like wait, in between like the entryway and the living room where the TV was. And I have my book bag on, and I would just be like, "Yeah, I know, I'm coming top 10." And I wait, and like Stan Verrett or whoever, and Hannah Storm would be doing them. And I would debate, but then I would be pissed. Me and my friends would talk about it at school that day. They'd be like, "You see top 10 today? I can't believe that was number 1. That should have definitely been like number 4, dude. Number 1 was this from the Cubs game. Made this sick ass play." Like you'd have your own opinions on the top 10 list, and you get mad when they had something at like number 5 there. You're like, that was so much better than number 5. A hockey play at number 1? Oh God. I get so pissed when it was a hockey play. And then some of my friends would be like, "I can't believe that diving catch in baseball was number 1. I'd be like, "Dude, that catch is incredible. You know how hard it is to do that?" Like you'd be biased on your different sports, If a kid didn't really care for baseball, it was like all the baseball plays he would just hate, but then you had like the one hockey kid that like where I come from, nobody played hockey. So you have the one hockey kid that'd be like, "Oh yeah, that was definitely worth number 2." And you'd be like, "Yeah, right, dude. All I did was just snag it with that big ass glove." PFT, he's just had it longer. You watching the top 10 at the bars in college? That's funny, Mitch. Yeah, man, I seriously would. I would my parents would get so pissed at me some days because if like we needed to get there a little bit earlier, we're trying to beat traffic or whatever. I finished up my Frosted Flakes. I need to see the top 10. I can't go to school and not have seen the top 10 when everybody's going to be talking about top 10 and debating them before we get into class. When like some at the school I would go to, like if you got there early enough, they had like you would sit in the cafeteria or whatever before like you went up to your classroom, like your homeroom. Like they had to give enough time for the teachers to like get in there, I think, or something. And so if you got there early enough, if you got there at like 7:05 or 7:10, they would like, you would go in there and you would sit in the cafeteria and you would wait until they'd be like, "All right, now it's time to go. You're free to go." And you go up to your classroom. But if you were at that cafeteria table and you didn't get to see the top 10, you were just lost, man. You had nothing to offer. Yeah, I roll with the Rangers, Mark. I like hockey. I think it's a fun, entertaining sport. I just didn't grow up with it. Where I grew up, not a lot of people played it, and it's not like a hugely popular regional sport in Indianapolis. So I didn't grow up with it too much. But that's when I was out at the Barstool office back in August of last year. I was talking with Glennie Balls and like Mike Granelli. I was like, I need a hockey team because a lot of people were asking. And obviously, Barstool, we got a strong hockey contingent from a lot of people. And I was like, I need a hockey team. I don't know who to do. I don't know who can be, And Glennie was like, "What about the Rangers, man?" And Granelli was like, "Yeah, that'd be good. You work in New York. You might live in New York. You don't have a team yet. They're not that good at the moment. They're kind of building up. So it could be good to ride with them." I was like, "Fuck it. All right. Yeah, I'll do the Rangers." So I ride with the Rangers with balls. Yeah, I ride with the Rangers with balls. But dude, that's where the origin of these lists come from. That's where the origin of these lists that I do try to do every day on Twitter and try to talk about on the show come from, is that I think it's from top 10, dude. I had to see the top 10 list. You're debating the top 10 list. You're excited about it. It's new every day. And it was a big thing. It was a big thing at school where I came from, Oh, Charles. Went to Cathedral, huh? I went to Ron Colley. Yeah. So rivals, back in the day there. Man, I didn't even get to – there's so much – I just get off on these rants sometimes on the show, and I love it. That's that's part of why I love doing this every day, is because I get to interact with you guys, like I said, and just bullshit about stuff and have fun. But I didn't even get into I didn't even get into a lot of the stuff that I wanted to talk about, man. Rest in peace to Terrence Clark. Terribly sad. Just a fucking, I mean, 19, man, you know, going to the draft, car accident, just the worst. So rest in peace to Terrence Clark. And, you know, thoughts are with the Kentucky basketball community and fan base and team. And it's just fucking awful, dude. So rest in peace to him. Rest in peace to Shock G from Digital Underground. I was rocking, they reminisce over you, man. We got to pull up some Shock G. Man, fucking, for those who don't know, spend a Friday looking up some Shock G, some Digital Underground on a Friday. It's perfect Friday music. You know, you got Humpty Dance, you got Same Song, Shock G's on I Get Around with Tupac. Those are just three of the most popular ones, dude. But give you a little taste of it right here after this ad. 57 years old, man. Shock G passed away. This is prime when my dad and his buddies were in high school, so I got this passed down to me, you know. Thinking like this is what like Mac Miller and people like that will be for my kid. All around the world, sing song. We'll be all around the world. All around the world, sing song. Yeah, dude, the Humpty Dance. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. The Humpty Dance. Put the Humpty Dance on at a wedding reception, and everybody's going fucking crazy. It doesn't get much better. Dude, you put Humpty Dance on at a wedding, and like everybody kind of starts walking out to the dance floor like this. And people who are my dad's age, this is like right in their wheelhouse, so they're going crazy with it. Why did I just mute it? Didn't mean to mute it. Didn't mean to mute it. But then, like, even the grandmas at first are like, they're kind of like seeing everybody's having fun, feeling the beat. And then all of a sudden, the grandma's out there shaking their arms and shit. Just like Humpty Dumpty, a little fall when the stereo bump me. I like the rhyme. I like my beats funky. I'm spunky. I like my oatmeal lumpy. I'm sick with this. This is Shock G right here, man. Crackers in your licorice. Hey, yo, fat girl. Come here. All you take a list. Yeah, I told you, fat. Look at me. I'm skinny. My dad and Ryan Massengale, man. Fucking one of his best friends. That's so funny. I'm like a 6-year-old kid, you know, riding in the backseat with them going somewhere, and they're like playing this shit.
I like the girls with the boom. I once got busy
in the Burger King bathroom. I'm crazy.
Allow me to amaze thee. They say I'm ugly, but it just don't faze.
Yeah, dude, nothing better than the Humpty Dance. The fucking classic right there. Fucking classic, dude. Anyways, rest in peace, Shock G. Rest in peace, Terrence Clark. Bump some of that Shock G and Digital Underground today. I'm going to be. A reminder tonight, if you don't have plans, well, now you do, because I'm giving them to you, because this is what I'm doing. Buy RNR.com. Tonight's Rough and Rowdy, KB, Nick, Frank the Tank, the whole crew down there in West Virginia, Rough and Rowdy on a Friday night. Nothing better. Full slate. Got to get it. The link to buy. If you don't want to just type that in, if you're watching on YouTube, it's below in the description to go and buy yourself Rough and Rowdy for tonight. So I'm going to be doing it. You should as well. Subscribe, youtube.com/C/Cup of Joey. Be sure to subscribe. The numbers keep going up and up and up. A lot of green that I'm seeing, up and up and up. So I love it. Barstool Indie merch for the 500 below as well on YouTube. You can click that link. You can go to the Barstool Sports Store. Just search Indie. It'll be on there as well. So I appreciate you guys as always, man. I hope you enjoyed today's show. I hope you enjoyed this week's show. And thanks for asking, Eva. Yes, Rocco is doing a lot better. Rocco he was under the weather last week. We took him to the emergency vet, like I said, and spent 16,000 hours there, as well as $16,000. And but you know what? The little guy's doing well. He went to Chicago with us. We've been giving him his medicine, and he's back up and at it. So thank you for asking. Yeah, he's doing well. I appreciate you guys as always. You guys are the best. So much fun this week. Next week, NFL draft, baby. Let's fucking go. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you Monday live at 9.